Again, welcome to my culinary studio, also known as the Lab. This is where all of the creations from Love and Chefs for Seniors begins and ends, and taste testings and so on and so forth. So I really enjoy this recipe. I hope you guys do too. I'm going to give you a really, really simple version of this pasta. Of course, a portion of it is rainbow vegetables. Those vegetables are zucchini, onion, um, red bell pepper, corn, um, peas, asparagus, and mushrooms. There's a really much simpler way to do this. If you guys have heard of something called Steam Fresh, Bird's Eye makes this product. Hopefully you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it has gold and white corn, carrots, and asparagus in it already. Steam this in the microwave if you like, and just pop that open, and you can add it to a pasta, or you can serve it by itself. It's really delicious, but it's a faster way to have nice frozen steamed vegetables for your dinner. As well, for the cilantro and basil paste that I'm going to be adding, of course, you can add fresh basil, which I have taken from my garden just a few moments ago and chopped that up for you guys. However, again, if you want to make things faster, at Ralph's, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is a basil paste and also a cilantro stirring paste. Great flavor, really quick. It's already done for you. Don't have to do a lot of work. You can turn what could potentially be a 45-minute meal into about 15 if you use these sort of shortcuts, if you will. I have my pasta already going, and I'm going to go ahead and drain it. What I started with was about 8 ounces of a plain rotini pasta. You can also do the rainbow version of it, which gives it a really beautiful flavor and color. But for all of my veganistas out there, there's also a product called Garden Delight Veggie Penne, which is, you can see the colors in there. It's really pretty, comes out really well. And this is also a vegetable-based product. So if you want to use this as a vegan option, you certainly can. Get my pasta out here. I am going to add this to a nice bowl and set that to the side to cool a bit. In the meantime, I'm going to chop my fresh bell pepper. I love bell pepper. It's sweet. It's light. It gives good flavor and good texture to non-cooked pastas, salads, summer salads, things like that. And it also adds great flavor and texture to prepared pastas. Gonna do the same with my onion. I enjoy using Vidalia onions. Forgive my phone ringing, guys. That will stop in just a second. I should turn that off. My apologies. I love using sweet onion. Again, I'm a flavor junkie. I like things that are vibrant and give off even more flavor as it cooks, like garlic does, like dry roasted tomatoes. Those types of things give off. They're good by themselves, but once you add just a little heat, it adds so much flavor and color to your pastas. or dishes in general. Here. Now the pasta that I'm preparing, you guys can have either, you can have it at room temperature, you can do it hot, it's your call, absolutely, whichever you prefer. It is absolutely up to you. I am gonna prepare the sauce for it though, so that I can toss the pasta and the vegetables in it. So I'm going to saute the asparagus, the onion, the bell pepper, and the zucchini. And what I'm using to saute it, another great product, tastes really good. And again, it is a plant-based product. This is avocado oil plant-based butter. I don't know if you can see this. Oh, there we go. It's a better picture of it. They sell it in all the major stores. It tastes fantastic. It's smooth and creamy and amazing. So I'm going to use that to saute my vegetables. While that's getting ready, I'm going to prepare my mushrooms for roasting. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know, I'm going to share this with you anyway. Mushrooms are obviously very dirty. They come out of the ground, okay? So you have to make sure you clean them. Only with a wet paper towel. If you try to rinse them in water, they will literally turn to mush and you'll hate them. Okay, we're going to take these, take the stems out of some of the long ones. Wash these up a little bit. And these are really simple to prepare. Once you have cleaned them off, you'll just cut them in half and add them to a bowl and add a balsamic glaze of your choice. Now, of course, you can make balsamic glaze from scratch. Not necessary. You certainly can, but it's not necessary. Really, really isn't. I'm doing the easy version of this. When you get home from work, you're hungry, you're tired, you don't want to spend hours in the kitchen. This is a quick recipe. And also, it being so warm today, it's so warm out today. Instead of using the oven to roast these, I am going to use my fun little air fryer, which will give absolutely the same effect as turning on the oven and making it hotter in here, which I don't want to do.
And Sherelle, Joan has a question for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Sherelle, do you ever peel the tops of the mushrooms?
No, I don't. I actually enjoy the sort of rustic flavor. I know that is an option to do, but no, I usually don't, especially baby bellas. Those are my favorites. I like the creminis. White mushrooms I enjoy as well. It just depends on the application. But no, I've never peeled the top of them. Does that add or remove flavor in your opinion?
I grew up next to the mushroom capital of the United States.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I just need to peel them. They look pristine. They're so white. They're beautiful. And
wow.
they're great in any dish. And I've just always done it that way.
That sounds amazing. No, I've never done that. But you know what? I'm going to try it just because now I know that is, that it could, change the look, if you will. So that's great. All right, I'm adding my zucchini to my onions. I'm going to let those kind of saute a bit. I'm now adding fresh chopped bell pepper. And while those are softening, I'm just gonna do a quick mix in a bowl of the sauce that goes over the pasta once the vegetables. I'm gonna add a little more butter here. Help. And back to the glaze that I was mentioning. So this is Private Select Balsamic Vinegar Glaze. Again, this is a Ralph's product. It's probably about, I don't know, $4 or $5 at Ralph's, and it's glaze already made for you. So it adds great, an acidic flavor to vegetables, really great on salads, excellent on cheese if you just want to do cheese and crackers. You know, put a little glaze on there, it's absolutely amazing. I'm gonna season these with a little salt. And some pepper. Some dried oregano.
And Amy has a question for you.
Absolutely, go right ahead.
Thanks, Cheryl. I just saw an ad for a small company that was selling a balsamic big glaze that I thought sounded pretty fabulous. What happened? The glaze is thicker though, right? Than obviously if you just use straight balsamic.
Exactly.
What's added that makes it a glaze? Do you know? If you're
So what makes it a glaze is that you're adding either brown sugar or some type, yeah, that's what creates the glaze. So once you add it on, so it's a balsamic vinegar, brown sugar, and I believe, actually that's it.
So it's just a
They
sugar.
also add cornstarch to thicken it up a little bit, and they reduce it down. If you just do balsamic vinegar, cornstarch, and brown sugar and put it in a pan, you'd have to let it reduce, and it actually turns into this sort of thick molasses type glaze, which is exactly what this is.
Wonderful, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so those are coming together. I am going to start to slice my mushrooms, and thank you again for that note on mushrooms. I'm excited to try peeling the tops.
Takes too much time.
We just want to jump in and eat, right?
Joan is the only one I've ever heard that peels her mushrooms.
Charlotte,
Yes.
what else do I have time to do with my?
That's true.
We used to peel them when we would get them from this field, but they were much larger than what you find in the store. They're the big ones, and we peeled those before we cooked them.
All right, so I have my mushrooms halved. I'm going to add them to this bowl, and I'm just going to take about, you know, it really depends on your individual preference. If you like a lot of glaze, if you like a little glaze, I would rather start out with maybe about half a tablespoon or a whole tablespoon. Make sure they're coated, put them in the oven, and then once they roast, if you want to add a little extra glaze at the end, you're able to do that. But I'm just going to put a little here. And I'm just going to coat these really quickly. Get a nice coat on there. And I'm just going to add a pinch of no salt seasoning. So no salt seasoning, in case you don't know. It's just a combination really of Italian herbs. It's oregano, a little rosemary, thyme, etc. And it creates a situation where you don't have to keep adding salt, but you still get the flavor. And so I don't know if you guys can see my air fryer over here in the corner there. Whoops, there we go. That's where this is going to go. I'll be right back, guys. My assistant did not clean this as well as I'd like it to be clean, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm gonna add the mushrooms here, kind of spread them. If you have an air fryer, you know it comes with its own handy dandy little pan. It's really a pan at the bottom, and then it has this sort of grilling screen, for lack of better word, at the top. I'm just gonna put those in there. I usually start the timer at 325 degrees for about 3 minutes, and then I'll go back and check on it. And in those 3 minutes, there we go. I will create our sauce. There we go. That's starting. All right. So in a mini food processor, if you have one, if you don't, just use a simple bowl for the sake of this exercise, so I can show you guys. It's super simple. I'm just going to use a bowl. So I've added 2 tablespoons of fresh lime juice, 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. I'm going to add just a squeeze. Maybe that's about a teaspoon, sorry. And then the cilantro paste is really what's going to give this a great kick on the flavor. And I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of cilantro paste. I think these are done, so we're going to remove this from the heat and let the sugar really cook it. Here's our great steam fresh. I'm going to go ahead and take an entire cup of steam fresh. You don't necessarily have to measure this, but I'm doing it so you can see about the volume that it would produce. Uh-oh, that hole here. You can see these are steaming beautifully. They've got great color. They are still very fresh to have been a frozen product, so I really appreciate it. I'm going to add that to the pasta, and I need a whisk. That's what I need. So I'll recap. For this sauce, it's 2 tablespoons of fresh lime juice or lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar or red wine vinegar, whichever you prefer, whichever you have is fine. Just a squeeze of basil paste, 3 tablespoons of cilantro paste, as well as about a quarter of a cup got my handy dandy measuring cups here. We're going to add a bit of olive oil. Depending on your tolerance, I like extra virgin olive oil. I like a bold flavor with pastas, not so bold flavor with salad dressing. So it just depends on your preference. Great. And our mushrooms, this might be ready. I'm just gonna check. Oh, maybe about another minute. go. And I'm just gonna whisk this around in here. All right, we've got a nice sauce. See if I can show this to you guys. It kind of looks like cream spinach, but you can kind of see the herbs in there. It looks really good. It smells fantastic. And I'm gonna get my gloves on. Excuse me, guys, I've got to grab another one. All right, I'm pulling the gloves out. This is where it gets down and dirty. So we've got the pasta and the vegetables in a bowl. I'm going to add the sauteed zucchini, onions, and red pepper. All right, those are ready. Now you have two options with the mushrooms. You can either serve them as a side dish, or you can actually toss them into the pasta, which is really amazing. And I'm hoping you guys can see this from here, how beautiful the colors are. Very, very colorful. You guys can see this. So you can kind of see me tossing this around together. See, that's got a pretty good toss. Then I'm going to add the sauce to it. Now, some people are not big sauce eaters. So you might want to kind of gauge this a little bit at a time, add a little, toss it, taste a little. If you want to add more, you can do that. It's absolutely up to you. Oh, I love this color. It's so beautiful. It smells so, I wish I could, we need scratch and sniff screens. That would really make this happy hour extra happy, right? Okay, I'm gonna taste this before I plate it, guys. I'll be right back. Let's see. Oh my God, it's so good. I'm gonna do a little more of the sauce. Give it a nice coating. I want you guys to see this really quick. Isn't that beautiful? Just amazing. Yes, if you leave now, you can make it. I'm in View Park. They call it Windsor, I guess. Ladera. I'm about 3 miles from Culver City. Straight up Slauson, up on the hill is where my studio is.
Oh, we can get there.
Yes. All right, that is looking absolutely amazing. All right.
So do you do cooking lessons?
I do. I love to teach people the craft that I had to pay to learn. I love giving it away. So I'm happy to do that. I know that there are folks that have a general cooking knowledge, and that's really all you need. I tell people all the time, you know, people say, oh, I can't cook, I can't cook. If you can read, you can cook. It really, yes, you do find it in the produce section, the cilantro and basil stirring paste. So if you go in the produce section where the mushrooms are, they're generally stacked just above the mushrooms. You'll find lemongrass, basil, pesto, cilantro, just about any garlic. ginger. They come in those pre-done tubes. They're a little more expensive, but it really saves you a lot of time. So if you're not that person that wants to spend all night in the kitchen, then I definitely recommend those shortcuts. You guys can kind of see those mushrooms. There's just glazed over beautifully.
Oh,
But
those look gorgeous.
cooked. Isn't that fantastic? So I'm just gonna put these on the side here. And I'm gonna plate this very nicely. You can do as little or as much pasta as you like, depending on how hungry you are. I'm gonna set this to the side. And if you really just want to kick up your veggie intake, you can add some nice broccoli. And as well, guys, if you're wanting to add a fish or a chicken to this dish, it's absolutely amazing with chicken. It is amazing with chicken. You can also use the glaze with that. You get someone move my parsley. Oh, let me grab it. Sprinkle that with a little parsley. And dinner is served.
Bravo. That's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And that was 30 minutes. That was not 30 minutes. Your pasta takes about 9 to 11 minutes to cook. If you do your prep work in advance, again, if you want to take a shortcut using the Steam Fresh is great. But just for the sake of showing you guys, I did have the asparagus spears that were cut, and these don't take long to cook either. The corn that I shucked fresh, you can take the time to do that and peel your mushrooms. But if you don't want to do that, there's a lot of quick shortcuts that you can find in your store, in your produce section, in your frozen food section, and you can create an excellent meal. Yes, I will take a picture, Tiffany, no problem. And also something I forgot to mention, guys, in terms of flavoring your noodles. I enjoy infusing the noodles with a little bit of flavor. I kind of skipped this step in the beginning, but I actually did do it on my end. Bouillon cubes are amazing to add flavor to your vegetables versus, yes, you can absolutely adapt to the recipe. You can use whatever vegetables you like. You can use eggplant. You can use broccoli. You can use olives. You can use tomatoes. You name it. The sky's the limit. Whatever you can find in your produce area, I would suggest using, especially with so many things being unavailable. You're almost forced to use what is available, although the world is kind of leveling out right now, but you have to be flexible. And at the end of the day, choose your favorites. I think that makes the most sense. But again, back to flavoring your noodles. So when you boil them in the water, I suggest adding either a chicken bouillon cube, a veggie bouillon cube. The tomato bouillon cube is amazing. Just to have one in about 8 ounces of raw pasta. The flavor that comes through, you almost don't have to add salt and pepper because you've really done that in the previous step. And then once you put this together, it creates a great meal. Thanks, guys.